Children's continuation with the adaptations and living things adaptations and the classification. We will see today the binomial nomenclature by Carl Linnaeus. Okay, so imagine that you are 4 students. Okay, what they told you, there is an activity, listen carefully. Imagine that you are 4 students, name is Kabir, Kiran, in a 4 students with name Kabir or Kiran. In our class also so many students are there, those name is Pranav. Okay, so many students are there. So how we are, suppose I say Kiran, then all 4 will say answer me as teacher. Okay, but if I will say Pranav Fadtare, Pranav Karmare, so what happens, the particular student will answer to me. Okay, so if you talking about any one of them, how would you ensure that others know which one of them you are talking about? Okay, just I told you that if I want to speak about whom, about the Pranav Karmare suppose, otherwise Pranav Patil, so what happens, that time I will use I will say Pranav Patil or Pranav Karmare or Pranav Fadtare. In this way, if I will take the name, that person will understand that I am speaking with whom. Okay, so without any confusion he will understand that. But if I, instead of that, if I will say Pranav, then how the student, that 4 will get confused, teacher is speaking with whom. So we would tell the full name, that is the first name, the last name. So this is similar to the binomial nomenclature. Understood all of you? So binomial means Pranav Karmare, Pranav Patil, Pranav Fadtare. So what happens inside it, what happens here, Pranav is same, but Fadtare, Karmare and the Patil, these things, names are there. We understand that I want to speak with whom. Okay, so that only binomial. Here how we are using the 2 names, same way we have to use 2 names for binomial nomenclature also. So what is binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature is used to identify each organism. Understand? Binomial nomenclature used at each organism. For example, okay, if we see here our box inside, did you understand what they gave here? Here they told you that, see here, for human what we are saying, Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. So Homo and sapien, these 2 things are there. Homo, suppose Pranav Karmare, Pranav, so that time we fit a Homo sapiens. So Homo sapiens is the name for human. So Homo sapien is the binomial nomenclature for the human being, and Magnifera indica is the binomial nomenclature for whom, the mango tree. In that way we can use the 2 names to identify the particular organism. Now what they told you, binomial nomenclature is used to identify each organism. To identify each organism according to scientific name has been assigned to each organism. So these names are Homo sapien, means these 2 names are there, it is a scientific name for that organism. How all human beings are included into Homo sapiens. Yes, all human beings are included into Homo sapiens, but the names are, different names are there given for the particular person. It consists of 2 parts. It has a 2 part. First part is the genus and second is the species. Okay, we will see it about. I will show you. See here. Here genus is Homo and species is sapien. So continue, these 2 things we have to take, Homo sapien. Otherwise Magnifera indica is the Magnifera is the genus, indica is the species. Now how our name and surname is there, in that way we have to, if we say genus and species, Magnifera indica, so it is the scientific name for the mango tree. Okay, and Homo sapiens is the scientific name for the human beings. Okay, after that move towards, so what they told you here, binomial nomenclature is used to identify each organism according to the species name has been assigned to each organism. It consists of 2 parts. First is the genus and second one is the species. All identified organisms have been assigned a binomial name as per guidelines of the International Code or the nomenclature. That names are there. Who is given to them? That is the international code of nomenclature. It is given by the some institute. All the organisms of a species are similar, that irrespective of differences in the color, height, habitats means where they are living in water, living in land, living in air. Okay, so these are the habitats and habits. Okay, so they can respond among themselves and form new individuals like themselves. What I told you, they can reproduce. Okay, means they are producing the new young one like themselves, and this is called as a reproduction among themselves and form a new individual like themselves. Okay, for example, all domestic cats in the world belongs to the same species. All the domestic cats in the world means from all over the world. So many cats, different cats are there. For example, dogs also, Alsatian is there, Doberman is there. So all these dogs we are taking into one account. In that way, cats also we have to take into same species. The same is true for cases of animals like which? Hen, cow, dog, etc. The plants like mango, wheat, maize, etc. means all are having the same true cases in such a type of, means all the cats how we are taking in one group, same way dog, hen, cow and trees like mango, wheat, maize, they are taking into one group. Okay, now next is the following are the examples of the organisms kingdom Plantae and Animalia classified by the binomial nomenclature method. Now see here, dog, what is the scientific name for it? Canis lupus familiaris. Okay, so Canis lupus is the what? Genus, and this familiaris is the species. Cow, what is the scientific name for cow? That is Bos taurus. Bos taurus is the scientific name for cow. Bos is the genus and taurus is the species. Hibiscus knows, no? So hibiscus rosa sinensis is the name for the hibiscus. It is the scientific name. So hibiscus is genus and rosa sinensis is the species. Next is the jawar. Jawar scientific name is sorghum bicolor. Okay, sorghum bicolor. So sorghum is the genus and bicolor is the species. In this way, what happens? The genus and the species are what happens? We are writing its a scientific name. However, names are there in that way. Okay, now move towards the next. So here what they give? Frog. Yes, I told you that how is the habitat of frog. See in the picture, if we enlarge it, you will understand that. Now I will just zoom it. Okay, so how our tongue is attached to the back of our mouth, so that frog's tongue is attached to the forward part. Which part? That is this part here, the forward it is attached, and it is what? It is long and sticky substances. When any of this, and it is what happens? It is rolled, and what happens? It is folded inside in this way. I will show you. It is folded in this way. It is folded, and there it is situated in the mouth. And when any of the prey comes on in front of you, he just relaxing this, and what happens? It throws his tongue, and what happens? It captures the prey which is coming. And so that is the adaptation in the frog. For what purpose? For living purpose. The changes are takes place in it. Okay. Now we will see the next part, that is so that is about the lesson. Today we have finished the lesson number 1. It is lesson number first, adaptations in the living world, adaptation and classification. So within 5 minutes we will just revive the lesson. So first of all, adaptations in the adaptations inside, we see the adaptations adaptation in plants. So adaptations in plant inside. First of all, what we see in that? Adaptations in the aquatic plants. Which adaptations are seen in the aquatic plant? Just they have what, their leaves are flat, their leaves are, so these plants have the flat leaves. Okay, you see in the picture they have the flat leaves, they have the waxy coating on the surface, and also I told you that this is waxy coating, they have the flat leaves, and here air space is there in the stem. Okay, these adaptations seen in the aquatic plant. After that we see in the adaptations in the desert plant. So in it we see that the leaves are turned into the thorns, and this leaf like structure it is looking, it is actually not a leaf, it is a part of a stem, and it has a capacity to store the water inside it. Okay, after that, and one more thing we see that, and they have waxy coating and they are thick to reduce the rate of evaporation. Okay, after that we see the adaptations in the plants in the snowy region. If you see these plants, they are what, cone like, and due to this structure, when the what happens, the snow falls, it will falls down. Okay, and that is conical shape is the adaptation in these plants. Again, what is the they told you that conical shape prevent, and they have the thick bark. This bark is very thick, and due to this they can withstand in the cold region. After that we see the adaptations in the plant where in the forest region. If you see these pictures, you will notice that all these plants are very tall. Okay, and this they compete with each other for the getting what, sunlight, and that's why they are very tall. And with this they have the tender like what happens, there is a on this plant like the some climbers are there, they are also what happens, they move on this tree, and due to this they what happens, they have tendrils structure is in that way, that we already seen. Next grassland plant. Just I told you that grassland, what we are thinking, grass means what, within a 2 or 3 centimeters, otherwise more than nearly 50 centimeter, this much height is there, but actually it is not there. Some places the grass is very tall, even an elephant can hide behind it. So this type of also what happens, the grass is there, they have fibrous roots, I told you before that, and then what happens, because if it soil erosion will stop. After that what we see that the animal behind this, what happens, the animals like rabbit and even elephant also, tigers also can hide themselves. Okay, after that we see the adaptations in the plants like for ingestion of the food. So this yellow projection is there, that yellow projection is there, is nothing but it is a plant, and it is called as a hostorial or sucking plant it is there, and their color is yellow, they don't have the green color. So that what happens, they are what happens, they are penetrating their projections inside the host tree, and they suck the nutrients produced by these plants. Okay, after that we see again that only this is a Venus flytrap. It has a capacity to what happens, it traps the insect, and these plants grow mostly in the region where there is a less nitrogen or there is scarcity of the nitrogen. In that places what happens, these plant trees are growing, and these trees, to fulfill their need of nitrogen, they are eating they are taking insect, they are killing the insect, and what happens, they get nitrogen from their body, and for that purpose they have the adaptations like they have the sweet smell, sweet fragrance, and due to an attractive in color and looking very attractive, and due to this what happens, they get attracted towards this. And some more examples of this is the Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, here it is in the picture, Drosera or sundew, these are present. Okay, next adaptations in animal for swim in the water. These animals have which type of, that is this type of body for what purpose, for the to reduce the pressure of water and for the swimming purpose. Okay, spindle shaped body we are saying, body is covered with the scale, they have fins for location, they have gills for the respiration. These types of adaptations are seen in the animals, in the fishes. After that these animals have what, aquatic animal, they have the what, if you observe the leg, they have the webbed toes for the what, locomotions or for swimming. After that we see the adaptations in the forest and grassland animals, they are, if they are carnivorous, if you see their canines are very sharp. If you see this tiger's picture, you will notice that their canines are there. If you see, these teeth are very sharp. Okay, and due to this what happens, they can tear the body of their and they also have the padded paws. For what purpose it is there? To because of it is not producing the voice. And then afterwards we are moving to the herbivorous animals. They have the strong legs, okay, strong and long legs for running fast, and their teeth are what? They are strong, but canines are not so well developed like the animals which are carnivorous. Now desert animals inside which adaptations are there. They have the thick skin, they have the water storing capacity in the body, okay, and mostly these animals, what happens, they move at night time because there is in daytime it is too hot. Then afterwards we see the adaptations in the animals like snowy region. These animals have the thick fur on his body, protect their body from the what? Cold, okay, and a color is matching with the environment where they are living. Now moving towards these adaptations in aerial animals, they have the hollow bones, body is spindle shaped to reduce the pressure of water at the time of flying, and hollow bones, and four limbs are converted into feathers, and due to this what happens, they can use there for the, and also it is covered with the small feathers. It helps to in the and this claws also, yes, claws are there. Its claws are what? It is claws are there to hold the bark or the plant part properly, okay. After that, reptiles body, we see in the moving of this animals also. Reptile body is specially developed for the crawling, okay, and as per it what happens, their color, most of these animals are what happens, their color is matching with the environment, okay. Now moving towards this adaptations in the for the food, they have the, see here, if you see this teeth of this animal bird, otherwise beak of this, and then what happens, butterfly color is attractive, it matches with the surrounding. They have the proboscis for the, some animals they are eating directly whole animals, some are sucking the, means they have proboscis, means these types of adaptations are seen in the animals, those who are living in the those who are crawling. The adaptations for the blending, in this what happens, they have the tendency of blending with the environment, okay. After that, the scientist information and classification of living organisms we seen, and today we seen the Carlinus binomial classification, and we have finished this lesson today. And all of you complete the exercise and send me on my personal number, okay. Thank you.